according to USA Today, but again, so many people are making their projections, and we're seeing a commonality, a common theme. It's like the Chargers. They projected them 7-10, and they were what?
Let's go
10-7 last year.
Let's go through each division, and it won't be time consuming. Just to make it make sense, Covino. Like the AFC West, Chiefs in first place, no surprise, 11 wins, 11-6. They're saying the Broncos 10-7, which is insinuating that Sean Payton and Russ find their way from the bottom to the top.
Insinuating they turn it around.
Yeah, they figured it out.
Last year was sort of a fluke, and
Russ did look better at the end of the season.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
You get the real Russ
There
back.
was a sense that they had figured out a little something with Russ. But you're right, the bottom of the AFC West, the Raiders 3-14, but the other, quote, disrespect might be, the richest quarterback in the NFL now?
Justin Herbert.
7-10, huh?
Again, has been leading the league, the past 3 years in most categories. I'm thinking he's playing with extra gusto and extra fire to prove that he's worth that contract. Got that clout and confidence behind him now. He's going to be 7-10 this year when they were 10-7 last year? I don't know about that. That one stood out to me.
Now,
and then, of course, Danny G's Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders 3-14. Now, the AFC North, they're predicting all these teams have winning records, and that's not a far stretch. I know that everyone's high on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They got him at 12-5. Ravens, Lamar got that big contract, 11-6. Steelers got, 16 seasons in a row where they find a way to be 500 or better. And the Browns, gave Deshaun Watson all that money, and they're hoping to get it together. So they're saying all those teams could be over 500 significantly. Now, the AFC South, another clear sentiment. Do we all agree? I think we could agree that Jacksonville's the team to beat in that division, and everyone else may be under 500.
And we've seen them get better and better.
Is this Trevor Lawrence's window of time to make some noise? Because all the other teams seem quite a ways away from where that team is right now.
10-7 Jaguars sounds right.
Tennessee's, arguably a 500-ish team, but the Texans and the Colts stink. Jags on top. Here's where I also think there's a team getting a little too much respect. The AFC East. They got the Pats at 7-10. I get it. Under 500. They're not the team they used to be. Belichick can only do so much. They have the Dolphins, Jets, and Bills sort of clumped up, all with 11 wins or more. But they got the Bills at 13-4. And Danny, Ramos, do you guys all agree that the Bills, there's a lot of people saying that team may, trip a little bit this year. They're a playoff caliber team, but this projects them to be the best team in the league.
There's the rumor out there that Dalvin Cook would like to sign with the Bills. If that were to happen, I could see 12 or 13 wins, because we ended last season by saying Josh Allen needs a running back to help him out.
That is true. 13-4, though. They got the Jets at 12-5.
Scrambling quarterbacks have killed the running back, as we've discovered.
Not in real life, though.
Not in real life, but when it comes to contracts and usefulness. Now, the Jets, do you think the recent photos that surfaced of Aaron Rodgers in the Jets uniform and his bulbous helmet
looks like
increased the projection or
looks
decreased
like, it looks like Gazoo.
The Great Gazoo. They're saying it's like the Great Gazoo. Did that help or hurt the projections?
I mean, excuse me.
He does look a little goofy with that bulbous helmet.
And the big story today about the money that he's given back to the team, which shows you how much he loves being in New York.
No, very
Selfless.
cool. And again, hopes to get more than 1 year. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
The discrepancies,
12-5 for the Jets.
The discrepancies in the AFC, I think we all agree on, believe it or not, right? Maybe a little disrespect to the Chargers and Raiders. Maybe a little bit much for the Bills, 13-4. You're assuming they're just going to pick up where they left off and be better, because they ended their playoff run miserably in that snowy game. We were at Buffalo Wild Wings watching the game, and I remember at halftime we were like, well, they're not turning it around, are they? That was pretty miserable, so we'll see what happens. Now, in the NFC, again, we're a month out of football even starting, so these are just the projections. They got the 49ers, Lions, Saints, and Eagles winning their divisions, and I think that's a fair guess and assessment. I think if anyone's being disrespected, I think it's the Rams at 7-10. Don't you feel like McVay has that sentiment and feeling that they're going to turn it around and go back to where they were? Like, they had an off year where everything went wrong.
And Bryce Young was already announced the starter What if he comes out just on fire?
Because
he already looks NFL ready. I mean, that doesn't always translate.
And that's a division that's sort of wide open, right? Like, I mean, no one's saying the NFC South. Tom Brady leaves. Bucks, I think it's fair to say they're 5-12. That's a pretty decent
I think the other two disrespects that stand out in the NFC are the Vikings at 7-10 and the Giants at 6-11. I didn't think they read. I mean, I know the Giants aren't going to be lighting it up, but I don't think they're 6-11, are they?
Vikings are upset getting ousted in the first round in the wild card.
The Vikings, listen, I get it. We got friends here at Fox Sports Radio that love the Lions. Joel, who works on Dan Patrick.
Who?
The dude that works here that wears like the hippie shoes. What's his name?
Perfect.
Never heard of him.
He's a Lions fan. He wears like some weird moccasins sometimes, right?
That's your impression of Perfect?
He wore like something like oversized sweater. They're big Lions fans, but are we so dead set on the Lions being 4 games better than anyone else in the NFC North?
That's assuming that they finally get over this hump that they seem to be at all the time. Like, they're scrappy and they're tough.
No, but they clearly...
But now all of a sudden they turn it around and they win the NFC North? I don't know.
They finished so strong last year that every team in the NFC was happy they did not make the playoffs because it was like, they would have been dangerous had they made the playoffs. They just missed.
I think the Packers 7 wins is a little high.
I think so too.
A team with Jordan Love, they haven't even know what he does. I mean,
you're telling me a Jordan Love first-year team is going to have the same record as Kirk Cousins trying to battle this team to finally get there?
And by the way, are we just all prisoners of the moment?
Because we love Kirk Cousins now?
We love Kirk Cousins. Yes. Kirk Cousins is such a great guy.
I love him.
There's no way they could be 7-10. He's such a sweet fella.
They're going to win more than 7 games, though.
I do believe that. Yeah, I believe that too. But so that stood out to me too.
With that winning attitude I saw on quarterback,
yeah,
I try believing Kirk.
Who should be insulted and who should feel good about their team according to the 2023 NFL record projections? Again, that's from USA Today, but you're seeing a lot of this going on.
I think the Giants, and remember last year I was the first person to tell you the Giants were fake. Remember when? I remember.
Yeah, you're screaming it every weekend.
Saquon's going to, try to show his value and show his worth.
Yeah, from mid-season though, I said Giants are not this double-digit go anywhere in the playoff type of team. And even when they faced the Vikings and won in the playoffs, I remember saying like, that's where it ends. That's like that's.
Are you saying all bite, no Barkley?
Who said that?
Rob Parker saying that?
Rob Parker was saying that. All bite, no Barkley.
Stop it.
Slap a Fox Sports Radio logo on it.
So 6-11 for the Giants. I think that's a little disrespect as well. But hey, make your own projections. Let us know at Covino and Rich. You know what I'm going to do? I'll put on our Twitter the one sheet of the USA Today predictions and let us know who's being disrespected the most. I'm going to say other than the Raiders because I would feel 9 out of 10 people would say Raiders.